After travelling to the far reaches of Cape York and having only just survived this tough part of the world, we still have a job to do. The plan while we are here is to explore by boat and then trek into this northern wilderness in search of a hidden Billabong that promises some untouched fishing. Getting there will be far from easy.
Hold on to him, Mick.
Just run, they'll chase. Stop! There it is there. The fishing show is proudly brought to you by Mercury Marine, BCF and Spotters Sunglasses. I've flown to the very top of Australia on the Regional Express to Bamaga. I joined up with charter skipper Hamish, who runs the business out of Albany Island. We took on a trip of exploration down the west coast of Cape York Peninsula, a place I'd never fished, and we were joined on this mission by Western Australian angler Mick. The first leg of this adventure was all about surviving a long-range trip and finding out what fishing we would encounter along the way. The waters here provided insane fishing with huge predators that were happy to take bites out of lures and us. But this wasn't the only reason Hamish and I wanted to come here. A year ago, we trekked into a Billabong on the peninsula and struck out on the fishing. However, Hamish recently flew a helicopter over this area and spotted a hard-to-reach patch of water inland from the coast. Our mission was to find this water and see what fish it might hold. Getting there, though, was going to be one tough proposition.
A year ago, Hamish and I ventured into a little backwater, also known as a Billabong, on the Cape York Peninsula. And following that adventure, it inspired us a lot to go and do it again. And now we've travelled down the west coast of the peninsula after looking at maps where we found similar little backwaters. It's taken us 2 days to get here. We've been joined by fellow angler Mick, who also wants to see what we can find, but the trip has ultimately come down to this, travelling up a river system and then trying to hike in to see what we might find.
There are a lot of unknowns about this journey, and to help us head in the right direction, Mick, who's an environmental scientist, printed out a few satellite maps of the area before he came across from the west.
Our biggest problem at the moment is trying to find a clear access point where we don't have to fight our way through some really dense mangroves which line the system. And the first two little conduits or off-breaks off this main river, they looked a little bit bigger on Google Maps when we first looked. So now we're going to have to reassess and go up a bit further and see. There looks like another clearing a fair way further upstream, but we just don't know how shallow the system's going to be. So it's a lot of unknowns at the moment.
We have no idea how far upriver we'll get on this run-out tide, and everyone is closely watching the bottom to look for shallow and deep sections of the waterway.
That could be a spot there, Hammer.
Yeah.
I reckon that's us.
Yeah.
We've travelled a fair way up this system now, and this is exactly what we wanted to find. We managed to get up, we've got a sandy bank, and we believe that this is the tree line that starts basically a big flat, which in about 6 to 7 k's time, hopefully, throws a few little backwater billabongs at us.
Now comes the important job of packing, because we can't easily come back. The right lures have to be packed. Enough water and food is essential. And then there's Hammer's rifle for protection, as we don't know what wild pig life we might encounter on this trek.
That way?
Yep.
Yep, sweet. Right. We've got a battery-operated GPS unit with us, and just as a backup, in case for some reason we lose battery power, I've got some solar power GPS capabilities right here, so this allows me to start GPS tracking where we're going and allows me to backtrack, so in the event that batteries fail, we've got a backup plan.
The walk through this landscape is far from easy because you can't get into a rhythm. The bush changes every few hundred metres. 1 minute you're in open scrub, the next minute you're pulling fishing gear and yourself through dense bush and forest. And all the time, you've got to be checking that you're still on course.
We've walked for an hour and a half now. We've just found our first little pocket of water. It's obviously too shallow to fish, but it's a good sign we're starting to get close to what might be the main Billabong. It's also put Hamish on high alert because if there's any place to find a pack of pigs, it's going to be here, and we're all starting to look where the nearest runaway tree might be because if one charges, it's every person for themselves.
Although this walk is becoming long, there's plenty of scenery to distract from those aching legs.
Really fresh signs of pigs all through at the moment, and Hammer's got the rifle ready just in case we stumble across a pack, but they can't be too far away with all of these fresh diggings.
come up to this little swamp here. Looks a bit shallow. There's big floodplain out here, heap of brolgers, some ducks. Doesn't look deep enough to cast in, but
Hammer uses the rifle scope to look for deeper water and what wildlife might meet us ahead. But the group is now definitely deflated. As the rain starts to fall, we wonder if our satellite searches have sent us on a goose chase with nothing more than ankle-deep water to fish in. The plan is now to skirt around these shallows and to find if there's a deeper channel section somewhere around them.
It's taken us 2 hours of hiking through this, but we've made it. There's a section of water here that certainly looks deep enough to hold fish. We're gonna have a quick refreshment break and then it's into it.
you know, mate.
Oh, there's a barra, there's a barra, there's a barra. Right at our feet. How's that? Yes. It was worth the hike, Hammer.
Bloody-o.
How good's that? Look at the colour on this fish.
Gold.
That big walk was worth it. We have one on the board. Have a look at the colour of that fish. It's one of the most golden barramundi I've ever seen. And I just love the fact that they change colour depending on the water that they live in and their environment. This guy would have come up here as a juvenile and then he's been landlocked waiting for the floods to push him back out that main system. I can happily sit up here for 2, 3, even 4 years and grow to adulthood and then follow the floods and that spawning urge to head down into the salt to breed again. What an absolute gorgeously coloured fish.
Yep. Oh.
What? 2 fish, 3 casts, mate. It makes it worth walking 4 Ks through this.
Absolutely, mate.
They're just the best looking fish.
Aren't they, mate?
A very bright lure. And I reckon he zoned in on it pretty quick. They've got to be just the kings of this domain. There's not much that's going to give them grief except for maybe a crocodile, which you'll find up here. But in this space, every bit of movement, bait fish, insect-wise, these guys are onto it straight away.
It's so good to come to a isolated patch of water, trek in, and come and find a few fish.
First cast, I like those kind of odds. Yes, I do. Eat it. Oh, he wants it. Eat it. There's about an 80 sitting at my feet here. No, still here.
Hey?
There's an 80 sitting at my feet. Here, just, I don't know where he's in. He's sitting out in the middle of this pool somewhere. But he's a solid 85. My hands are still shaking watching that.
I just saw him come up after it.
Man, that was so dark. He came out of nowhere. I reckon he was almost sitting under the snag. I just didn't see him. And then the last minute he's gone. Whoop. So you got to fish. Oh, you got to fish everything to your feet because it's so frustrating to watch a fish that size just tease you at your feet. I brought along one of my old faithfuls, our gold bomber. As you can see, it's done a few yards. It's caught a few fish. This one. It's almost due for retirement, but I reckon I can manage one more trip. It's caught a whole lot of fish. And that one was very, very interested. Oh, I did not want to eat that. Right at its nose, I thought, here we go, it's on.
So close.
So close.
We found some fish and we're all a little excited. And now we're searching for a barramundi for Mick. And this is one fish he's never caught. Oh! Hammer, oh, there it is there. That's a good one too. That's a good one. Far out, Hammer. My goodness. Hasn't woken up yet. Hasn't woken up yet.
Oh, get him straight in.
It's a good one. Yes.
Nice.
Hammer.
Nice.
Look at that. That bite. How scary was that bite?
Oh, twice.
I pulled the lure out of the water. It scared me that much. Yes. These are the most splendid coloured barramundi I've ever come across. Look at them. They are just golden and so aggressive. They're just thinking bait fish have invaded their space. And this one has demolished that lure. Wow. What a special fish. To see it so aggressively eat the lure and just wandered all the way back to the bank. Shows you why they're such an apex predator in these parts in the fish world. Give him a breather, let him go back to it. This one's very much an adult now, around that 55 to 60 centimetre stage. That's when quite a lot of them start wanting to go back down to the salt and grow bigger. Of course, when they get to 80 centimetres, they start turning into females. So this one will be an adult male, just waiting for the next flood to get him back down, breeding with the pack. I'm gonna let you go, mate. Off you go. Off you go. Oh, how good's that?
Got him. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Nice. First one, Mick.
Ripper.
Yes.
Well done, Mick.
My dirty little
Nice one.
secret until now. First barra, yeah.
Yes.
Good size. I reckon if you're going to catch your first barramundi, to come into a place like this and do it here, that's the way to do it. You've done that in style.
Yeah, the whole experience has been wonderful.
Cool. I just love that life cycle of these fish, that they can come up here and just sit in exclusion for sometimes years until they get that good flood out there, and then we can go and catch them in the salt. But just to live up here and do their thing, change colour like that, and then head back on out and become sea animals effectively, it's a pretty special life cycle.
I'm thinking this is a capture that Mick will remember for a very long time.
Oh, yes! Oh, hammer! You're kidding!
That was a large specimen.
You're kidding!
Hey, that was a big girl.
Go again. We've hooked 2 from 2 in this spot. I love how they just come out of the middle, out of nowhere. You think they're going to be on a snag. Oh,
little
there's
one.
hammer. Did catch one off the snag. That's it, hook him in. Look at the colour again. It was a relatively new arrival to the Billabong. Got back to the Billabong. That size, it's in their first year of life, and they'll come up here as juveniles from a fresh spawning event down the front. And they'll stay here and grow to the size of these other ones that we're catching here. Cool to see it. Oh, Ham, what are you doing, mate? How many fish are on that snag? Oh, there it is. That's a bit. Oh, okay, get out of the way.
Get out.
Go.
Oh, yes.
Saw that bite. Nice. Oh. See the bite in the line?
Yeah.
Yes. Woo! How
Beautiful.
good's this spot? Oh. This is worth walking in for. You can just tell by the shape of these fish, wow, they're such good hunters around here. Have a look at that for a hunting head. There's eyes so close together. Look how narrow that forehead is. So they got such good vision around them and above. And with that head, they can very easily, at the younger parts of their life, they're just as happy eating insects and frogs off the top. And as they grow big, that big mouth starts sucking in bait fish and little barramundi and even little crocs when they get bigger. So they are just awesome at surviving here. Yes, your turn, Nick. Oh, there it is. There it is. It doesn't get old.
You just have to stand in line and come and catch one.
It doesn't get old, does it? Oh, that's a better one. That felt a little bit better. No, just a bit hard. I kind of like getting concentrations of barramundi all stacked together. Look at that, carbon copies. Oh, Hamish, we nearly had 3 on the bank. Okay, Hamish, here's one chance to get 3 on the bank.
Yeah.
Oh, go, go, go. Oh, you're kidding. We have carbon copies. Well and truly worth the walk in here, mate. I think halfway, I was doing it tough and I was thinking, there better be some water we can fish here, because if we come all this way and there's no water, I wasn't going to be happy. But now I am very, very happy. Oh, big boil.
Yeah.
Look at the boil on the lure. There it is. That's a better one. That's a better one.
Got the big dog.
That's a better one. Oh, they're just the coolest creature.
Nice.
You can never get tired of them, Hamish.
No, mate.
You just can't. A fish that does this.
Oh,
yes.
round the jaw. Oh, yes.
Yes.
It's a beauty.
Yes. It's easily the best billabong barra I've caught before.
Yeah.
And normally, you know, like you get a lot of those smaller size fish, but these have been in here for a while, I think.
Yeah.
They mightn't have been flushed out for a few years, which is why they're big and hungry. Now, that is an absolute chunk of a billabong barramundi. Worth travelling all the way down the west coast to the peninsula, hiking for a couple of hours in, just to see what we might find, and to find fish like that, that is absolutely amazing. Those are the sort of memories that you keep for a long, long time.
There doesn't seem to be an end to the lineup of fish stacked in here and waiting to eat one of our lures. And after the long walk, we aren't in any hurry to head home yet.
Lining up. What makes living and working up here so special is coming into some of these places like this and finding the time and making the effort to come in and have a look and find what's here, and makes it even better when you find barramundi stacked up every second cast. Makes living and working up here even more special. Oh yes! Got him!
Oh, it's a good one too, Mick. It's a cracker.
Mick continues to upgrade his biggest barramundi on each cast, and the boys are just loving this fishing session. After the bite slows down here, it's time to keep moving to see what the water around the next corner might hold.
Oh, how good's this? Oh, look at him there. Hold on to him, Mick. I'll help if you want. Right, up on the bank. Nice fish. Look at the size of them. Look at this. Look at this. Look at him. Look at this. Oh, that's out of control. How's that? At our feet. There's 3 of them looking at it. I've just twitched it. This one's gone. Okay, I'll have it. Oh, this is out of control. Good. Oh, yes. Man, when you see barramundi, it's like they just haven't seen people before. Sometimes that is the real reason you get off the beaten track and you hike into somewhere a long way away from people, because fish behave how they should, like never having seen a person before. Oh, there's one. Oh, look at him, in the snag. Oh, yeah, there. This is what billabongs are effectively for. They're really small barramundi when they're only a few centimetres long, to run up with high water and get into these little backwater stretches that we know as billabongs, and then gives them a safe little haven to basically start eating bigger and bigger food supplies and grow to adulthood and then get back down into the salt. To see a guy like that in here, so very cool. Oh yes, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a chunk. That is a chunk. Oh, stay away from that. There's so much for them to run into here. This could end badly really soon. Oh, yes.
It's a nice fish.
Oh, it's trying to keep his head up.
Nice fish. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. You're a beauty. Oh, there's so much to like about fishing in this place. Just fish that haven't seen people before, and they are super fired up. I just want to eat anything that gets into this space. The Cape York Peninsula is truly an enigma when you look at the ecosystems of our planet. At the moment it's the dry season and we come here for the fishing, but it's all interlinked. And this place, with all of its diversity and its different seasons, is still a thriving place that reminds you you've really got to do your best to look after it. Oh, there he is. There he is. Followed it all the way. Over to boil. This retrieve we're using at the moment to agitate these fish. It's all about twitching and pausing it. And it just gives out distress signals, so much like a baitfish would when it knows it's in trouble. And these fish are so programmed to come out and eat anything that looks like it's out of place. Just their whole body is developed to pick up signals, and they do it so very well, whether it's eyesight or vibration. They get onto stuff so quickly. Colour change in any animal tells you a lot about how it survives. And up here in this water, these fish are so well suited to the colour here. You can see how well they're going to blend in, which means they're able to evade predators themselves. And then as they get down to the salt, they start taking on more of that silvery appearance, which we see in so many of our marine fishes. They're just so good at adapting, which is why they've been here for so many years.
There's plenty of water to explore here, and we head in search of a new area to fish. A beautiful corner opens up that looks super fishy. No one has noticed the nest of wasps sitting above our heads. Just run, they'll chase. Go. That was no fun, that fishing spot. No. How many times did you get hit? 4. We've got one there, one here. We chose a fishing spot right beneath a big wasp nest, and they don't like people here. They chased us 20, 30 metres. Got me a couple of times. Oh man, it's a pretty harsh environment around here. You got to be so careful everywhere you go. Be on the lookout. Things that want to bite you or sting you. The bite gradually slows down, and exhausted, we try not to think too much about the long walk that awaits us back to the boat. The plan is now to work our way back to the mothership. What I really want to see being in this part of the world is just how much diversity you find in your fish in just
a few k's. So from here, I reckon we fish the river, and then tomorrow morning maybe even head to the inshore reefs.
Yeah.
And see just how many fish live in such a small space on the peninsula.
Confined area for sure, mate. Sounds good.
Start the walk.
All right, after you.
The long walk home is made easier knowing that all the effort was worth it. And we're still somewhat in awe of the quality of fishing that we discovered. To make the hike into the unknown and find those barramundi is a tale we'll be telling for a long time to come.
Woo! Plan now, let's work our way right back down to the mouth of the river where the mothership is and see if we can catch ourselves dinner on the way home.
Pulled up to a bit of a shoulder here on the corner of a creek in the main river system. There's a bit of dead water over along the bank here with a scum line on it. What we're looking for here is just sort of any disturbance or scum, you know, dirty water, anything like that where they're hiding and they're going to come and ambush some bait swimming past. Oh, yeah. Nice little barra, man. Nice one.
How good does it look in this water, Hammer?
Unbelievable, man. It's a nice fish.
Good call, Hammer. Oh, yes. In a way, shows you how these fish hunt. Look at those little eyes close together. Such a small head for the size of its body. It's just such a fantastic predator in these parts. And he's just come up behind that and boofed it. Well and truly one of the coolest fish you find in these parts.
The one aspect you always have to be careful of when unhooking fish in a remote area is the risk of hooking yourself.
Occasionally in the middle of nowhere, this is what happens. You get hooks through fingers. Good news is it's gone all the way through. So Hammer's going to be able to flatten that barb. Yep. And we're going to try and pull it out just as the rain starts.
I can't see any barb there.
I can see them.
Is it? Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's my finger though, but that's good.
Sorry, mate. I'm just trying to get the barb there.
Camera guy's laughing at you though. Ah, yeah, that's a bit of finger there.
The hooks on these gold bombers are incredibly sharp.
We might have to amputate this one.
And it's easily gone in one side of the thumb and out the other.
There's a note of caution when you're in the middle of nowhere. Pliers are always a good option when you're taking fish off. well operated.
You're right,
Mr.
mate.
McMillan. Yeah, good job.
Oh, be careful.
One of the aspects you love about fish like this is that you can go and target them in these little landlocked sections of water we know as billabongs, and they can live there for years. And the moment you get that big flood which pushes them out in a system like this, they then go into that next stage of their lives. Such a cool life cycle.
As the sun starts to fall, we've still got plenty of water in the lower reaches to work through to try and drum up a few more species for the day. And we haven't sorted out dinner yet.
Oh, there's fish with it. Here. Oh, it's getting attacked. Had two fish on the same lure. There you go, Hammer. How's that? It shows you how competitive this part of the world is. That once one fish has your lure, that's just not enough for the rest of the rat pack. So they've come in and tried to take it away, and fortunately been stuck on a pair of trebles. So there is two for the price of one.
Look here.
Got a queenie.
Queenie.
Oh, yeah, got him that time. Nice. It was about 5 or 6 mangrove jack, came out to look at that. And the reason that I want to eat that is that I just let that lure sit there. So it looked all the part of a bait fish that suddenly popped up in the wrong spot, and I just left it still. And when a bait fish is out in the open, it's got no structure left, its best means of defense is to sit dead still with the odd occasional movement. So I just twitched that lure, and this little guy, like a whole lot bigger than this, came out and scoffed it. Getting later in the day now, we haven't caught ourselves dinner yet. This could be our last ditch effort. We've seen right at the back of a shallow flat, there's a big deep hole. The birds have been active and there's been some spraying splashes, so there's some predators eating bait up here. We're going to try and sneak up, see if we can catch dinner. Sun is getting low. Oh, there's one, there's one. There's one. Yes. Just blooping a little lure. Oh man, it's an awesome little popper. It's designed to pop across the top and also dive beneath the surface, so it looks all a part of a really wounded and out of sorts bait fish that attracts predators really quickly. We've got, it looks like a little coinfish.
This lure, known as a two deadly, is just that when popped and swum through these shallows.
There you go, the giant queenfish get a whole lot bigger than that, but up here feeding in the shallows. The little lure was just too much for it. We spotted them a mile away throwing water around. Well, there's probably a herd of them out here chasing bait fish into the shallows. Very welcome on that one, Mick.
As our fishing light fades, it's time to head to shore, to light a fire, crack a beverage, and relive some of the crazy action we got to see today.
This ends a crazy day on the peninsula, exploring up river systems, hiking 10Ks through the scrub, and one of the most amazing barramundi billabong sessions you'll ever see. A couple of fish on the way home, hooks in fingers. Time now to regroup, and tomorrow we're going to see what offshore holds. To make sure we got the big boat out this morning on the high tide, we've left the confines of the river system. We've headed offshore and we're going to anchor off the small boat, have some breakfast, and then as the light of a new day starts, we're going to head out wider, see if we can jig up a few of the local reef species, all within close proximity of this river system. The river mouth's only a few hundred metres that way. We're starting to find little patches of rubble out here with signs of life on them, and the plan for this morning is to get out the metal jigs, and Emma's just going to explore around the near vicinity, see what we can find, and Mick and I are going to jig away and see what we can find. It didn't take long. Get her up. Can't wait to, oh, shark, go. Nah, you got done. Sharked. It's a tough environment to fish here. You've got to get fish up so quickly. Well, I think you might have lost the battle. Yeah.
This day is starting out looking promising with plenty of bait fish around. Our biggest issue seems to be that this river mouth fishery is home to many, many sharks.
Quick change here. We've seen some surface feeding activity. I threw a jig at it, which is not the right tool for the job. Got bitten off straight away. So we'll put a surface lure into the fray and see what we can drum up. They look like mackerel, and there's birds over there. Look at them, Mick. Oh, got him. That's a mackerel hammer. And there's a shark on it straight away. Look at the boil it went. I reckon I've got very little chance at the moment. Here we go. We're getting eaten already, I reckon. What do you do? There we go. I think we might hook something else now. Shows you how much activity is happening in such a short space from a river mouth. Just that whole ecosystem at work, from billabongs behind the river, through the nutrient trail in the river, and then everything pushes out here and it's alive with so many species. Fortunately, this one's been eaten. I think what I did have, I don't have anymore. We're connected to a shark. Yep. Oh, there we go. All over.
This game is becoming a trying one for us, and we have no choice but to change tactics by retrofitting metal lures, trying to fish quicker and win battles faster.
Go hard, big fella. Go hard. Just go. You're right now. You're right. Yes. Yeah. You won one! We won one by the sharks. Oh, you beauty. There we go. A northern bluefin tuna. It does grow a whole lot bigger than that, and I reckon pound for pound one of the hardest fighting tuna in the ocean, mate. And in this case, he managed to run away from the sharks, and you got him in the boat before.
Had to go very hard.
We had to win one eventually, and our little retrofit has done the job. We were jigging with these before with assist hooks for reef species, and obviously losing a few battles. What we've done now is put a treble hook on the back, and we're high speed spinning it through. Signs of these tuna eating on the top, and we have a victory. One part I absolutely love about species like the tuna is just how well developed they are to be streamlined and quick hunters. just to the point where their body's actually designed to have all their fins tuck into the body. It's really neat. You can actually see the indentations where those fins tuck away. Even the front dorsal, most other species of fish, I can do this and I'd have spines all through the finger. It's actually tucked it right into its body so you can't physically see it. How cool a design is that for a torpedo-like hunter? Oh, there we go. Oh, bang. What you often find in a big feeding pack like this is the whole food chain's at work. You've got the smaller fish in the way of the bait, and you've got the next line of predators, so you've got your tunas, then your mackerels, and quite often your sharks hang around those packs as well. So you will find the whole bunch there eating. What we hope now is that the bigger line doesn't want this one. Whoa. Oh, and there we go. What we're doing to catch these fish is obviously make our lure look like one of the bait that's strayed from the pack and it's running away. And when you're a predator like a tuna, you spend your whole life looking for the stray bait fish, the one that's left the pack. It's easy to catch, and when you see that, you'll hunt it down. So a little metal slug cast in the middle of the bait, quickly wound back, is often all it needs. And they're all here, Mick. Tuna's still going here. I reckon Mick will have another one very, very shortly. Like that. Straight on. That's a mackerel. Those are mackerel. Big school of mackerel. Man, big school of mackerel. I saw them all on the top, yeah. Okay, Mick. That's a Spanish, that one. I saw the pack with him. Go, go, go. We've got a gap. Hammer's into it. Come around, come around. Is it tuna or mackerel? Ah, you got the tuna out of the school of mackerel. Yes, tuna poling. The tuna king. Well done, my friend. Yeah, everyone past the sharks is a win. It's very cool to think that yesterday we were a couple of k's beyond that shoreline there in pristine fresh water targeting barramundi, and then just a stone's throw from the river mouth, we're now playing with the likes of tuna and mackerel and sharks and seeing this whole blue water environment in full swing. It's a very, very special part of the world.
We continue to think through strategies to hook fish and win battles without losing to the local shark population, which seems alive and well.
Fighting a losing battle with tuna and sharks at the moment, so we're going to change tact slightly, see if we can maybe pick off a few other pelagics that are roaming around the packs and maybe get them in before the sharks. So the plan now, we've got some really big diving hard-bodied lures here, and we're going to high-speed troll them around this area and see if we can maybe gee up the likes of a mackerel or a bigger tuna, and then just hope we're good enough to get them back to the boat. Oh, one and gone. Still got it? Yes, you do. You're on. It ate it on the way out. Bail arm, he was letting line out and suddenly the bail arm just started clicking and the fish had eaten it on the way. Shark, man. That's not the fish he had at the start, I don't reckon. Is it? These golden blue colours on these hard bodies seem to be doing the job better than we are at getting them back to the boat. But sooner or later we're going to find a few isolated fish away from the sharks, and I reckon our luck may change. While trolling, we've come across a really good looking patch of bottom reef with plenty of life on it, so we're going to risk it again and drop some metal jigs to the bottom and see if we can play with a reef species or two and hopefully win a battle against these sharks. Out there, Hammer? Go on, Hammer.
This spot is alive with baitfish, and we are hooking fish at will, but still having to work super hard to get them back past the sharks. Ultimately, our boat has become an attractant for these sharks, and we decide to get a closer look at them.
Hammer had to come down the back just to show us how to get a fish past the sharks, and he only just made it. Unfortunately, this one's been wounded badly enough by one of the sharks that it's not going to make it. And there's three very big sharks at the back, so we're going to show you just how long it takes for a big predator to eat something else in this part of the world. That's why I don't want to ever swim here. Come and eat it, boys.
shark feed over, we decide to move and see if we can locate a fishing spot with a few less of these big and hungry animals.
What have you got? It's gone quick, whatever it is. What is it?
Little Mackie.
Yes. Nice work.
That's what we've been waiting for.
Good work, Nick. We knew there was mackerel in somewhere.
And spread it out.
There you go. A school mackerel. That big white blotch there gives them away, one of the smaller species of the mackerel clan. He'll be in amongst the tuna and bigger ones like the Spanish mackerel as well. Mick's done well, he's managed to get one past his sharks. There's the reason we've lost a few jigs today. Check out that for a set of chompers.
This mackerel is a perfect size for lunch, and I quickly start preparing it while we move again to a new location.
We just recovered one of our lures that we've lost. Mick's just spotted it floating along just as we passed it. We'll go get that back. We'll probably donate it to something else. Got him? It's time back on this lure we've recovered, and it staggers me how well fish are able to remove hooks of their own accord once you lose a bit of gear or the like. And it proves the point that fisheries often tell you that if a fish is hooked and you can't get it out of the fish, you're better off to cut the line and let the fish get rid of it itself rather than you keeping it out of the water for longer and digging away, trying to get your hook out. So that is proof fish can get rid of hooks very well on their own. There's a mackerel, that's a mackerel, that's a mackerel, that's a mackerel, that's a mackerel. Oh, it might be a tuna actually. Oh, there's a shark straight on it, straight away. Shark's had a piece of him already. Nice. Yes.
Well done, mate.
We won one.
Past the sharks.
We won one. The northern bluefin tuna, as the name suggests, likes the warmer waters, and you'll find them in places like Indo-West Pacific Oceans around the Red Sea, the Arabian Peninsula and down into our tropical Australian waters. I think pound for pound, just a fantastic sport fish. They're maybe not quite as good an eating fish as our yellowfin tuna and our southern blues, but on the plate they're still fantastic. And this one is going to cut the mustard as a bit of sashimi on our way home. Speaking of which, we've only got a few hours left in this spot. We're going to have to slowly start making our way back towards Seisha.
With fresh mackerel sandwiches on the menu, we troll our way into shallower water to see if we can find some other speedsters to play with.
Getting close to the beach now, and there's a bucket load of birds diving on something over here. So we're probably going to pull up these trolling lures, put on some surface lures and run in there and see what we can find, because there's a good chance we'll come across a queenfish or two right over here.
The JM Gilly stable of lures offers versatility, and they've done the job on everything from barramundi to tuna so far. Another lure is out of the box, and with its fast, splashy action, the classic Bluewater pie should entice one of these local queenfish.
There he is. Woo! Yes! Work hammer! And it'll be the queenfish and predators like it that have balled up all this bait on the shoreline and made it hug together, because it's its best means of protection. There's no other structure for it here. Tide's running out, you can see a lot of shoreline there. And these hunters have got a very good pattern on the low tide when there's less water for the fish. They've bunched them up on the beach and they'll just be having raids in there to grab them. Here, beauty. Good sized queenfish. Oh, look at that. Giant queenfish getting up to 1.5 meters. One of the coolest predators that run these beaches. They grow quickly, they grow up to 20 centimetres a year. They reach their sexual maturity around the 60 centimetre mark, so around 4 or 5 years. And then have a long spawning season, September to March, and we think they do most of it here in the offshore waters. What a gorgeous fish. Oh, well, there he is. Oh. There he is. Get in there, man. That age-old recipe proves true so many times. If you can find that bait, predators are never far behind. Look at this, it's a beauty. Oh, beauty. Carbon copy. You never get tired of catching these guys. They just fight so very well, and scientists have recognised that they're really, really important in our predatory environment, up there with the GT, just because there are so many of them. So as apex predators, they keep a big part of the ecosystem in check by how much they eat and just by their pure numbers and biomass. So important ones to look after. They are quite tasty fresh, and we'll look after these ones today.
There are literally heaps of big queenfish running along this beach, and Mick is quickly again amongst the action. But as we let this fish go, we notice that the bait action has slowed considerably.
The tide has stopped now and the queenfish bite has unfortunately stopped. It's also unfortunately put an end to our time here on the west coast chasing fish in and around the river systems. And as always, it takes an adventurous spirit, someone like Hamish, to take us to places like this. So mate, thank you very much.
Pleasure, mate.
You're as awesome as always at finding fish, and I can't wait for the next time we come to these parts and see what else we can find.
Hamish runs a charter business in this part of the world, and he's kindly taken a few days off to help me explore this part of the coast to try and find our hidden barramundi billabongs. It was impressive to see just how much life we discovered in close proximity in this wild part of Australia. This trip has been mind-blowing to say the least, and a journey such as this with adventurous anglers will always create long-lasting memories. For details on all the equipment we used in today's show, head to our website afn.com.au, follow the links to the fishing show, and we'll tell you exactly what we used. And to stay up to date with our latest adventures, head to our Facebook page, AFN Fishing and Outdoors, and you'll find out exactly where we are and when.
It's Bill Klassen here from The Fishing Show, and if you like this instructional video and want to learn more, it's simple. Go to fishingshowtv.com.au and see a whole host of additional videos.